Welcome to Beauty and the Biz. Discover how to grow your practice with effective cosmetic patient attraction, conversion, and retention advice from author, speaker, trainer, and cosmetic practice business and marketing coach, Catherine Maley, MBA.
Hello and welcome to Beauty and the Biz, where we talk about the marketing and business side of plastic surgery practices. I'm your host, Catherine Maley, author of Your Aesthetic Practice, What Your Patients Are Saying, as well as consultant to plastic surgeons to get them more patients and more profits. And today's episode is a little different. I was speaking at the American Academy of Cosmetic Surgery, and I was asked to speak on the topic of becoming a front desk rock star. So I'm going to replay the presentation I gave. I pulled the audio from it. And so I'd like you to enjoy this. I would also like you to share it with your receptionist, because if she would just follow my lead here, she can increase your conversion rates easily by 20 to 30% within 48 hours. So enjoy, and I hope it helps. And then let me know if indeed she needs additional help. I'm always available. And on that said, you can just visit me at www.catherinemaley.com, leave me a message, and we could figure out how to get her up to speed. All right, enjoy. Thank you. That was a long intro. Hi, everybody. I heard everyone started at 7 a.m. this morning. I think that's insane. Why would we be in Las Vegas at 7 a.m.? Don't go together. Anyway, has anybody heard of me? Am I a legend in my own mind? All right. I did write a book, just FYI. I wrote a book because I wanted to understand the patient, because I know I'm the patient. I am a walking, talking testimonial of cosmetic rejuvenation. But I wanted to make sure I wasn't just in my own head. So I interviewed a whole bunch of patients to find out what they wanted from you, like why they chose you or you or you or you. So it's got a lot of good data in there. The point, this is what's happened now. There's going to be a tsunami hitting us. If you think it's hit already, it hasn't. And there's just a whole lot of competition coming on. And it's going to just get bigger and bigger. And it's going to get more competitive. And that's not good news or bad news. It just is. So we have to figure out, how do you get good at this without wasting a ton of money and making a lot of mistakes? And this is the big one. Nobody ever wants to talk about the phones because it's not sexy, you know? And the poor receptionist is paid the least. They're always stuck in the front. They have no friends out there. They're always by themselves. And they're always reprimanded for not saying the right thing. But nobody ever trains them on what, they always say to me, what do you want me to say? Like, give me something here. If you're going to let these people wing it, that's what you're going to get. So nobody is a born receptionist. Everything you've ever done, how did you do it? You learned it, and you practiced, and you learned, and you made mistakes, and you practiced some more. So I want to simplify the phones because they're complicated. They're very complicated. People are calling from left field all day long and asking just a ton of stuff that you're supposed to be able to, navigate through. So I'm going to simplify it, and I hope this is helpful to you. The number one objective of a receptionist, they actually don't usually know what it is. They think it's to answer the phone, and I'll tell you what it really is. Two objectives. They either book the consult or they get the contact information. If you think about it, somebody who's interested in cosmetic rejuvenation, that's not a fleeting thought. They've been looking in the mirror forever. They've been worrying about this forever, and they're going to continue as the aging process happens. So anybody who calls you is a prospect. If not now, some other time, but grab that contact information. Okay, here's the big tip. Whomever is asking the questions controls the call. I do a lot of mystery shopping, and I have for 20 years, and I've worked for huge call centers. What happens is, who's controlling this call? Is it you or is it the caller? So please remember this. Now, the questions, and I'll talk about, this is the big part of it. These are the questions. You don't want to answer any other questions but this. What's your name? What's your number? What do you want done? How did you hear about us? When do you want this procedure done? When can we see you? And what's your contact information? Okay? But we're not going to do it like that. We're going to have some more finesse than that. Okay, we're going to need to do some verbal cheerleading, because when you control the call and the caller is trying to get something from you and you're trying to get something from them, you've got to use some enthusiasm to get through this call. And the objective is to book the appointment. So we want to use verbal cheerleading. I call it verbal cheerleading, but it's things like, great, terrific, thanks so much for that information. Be excited about it, okay? So here's phone fix number one. Answer the phone. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I cannot tell you how many of you have set up the patient deterrent program in your practice, but you just do not want to talk to callers trying to give you money. You just don't. And a lot of you have a lot of lip service towards this, but when we literally have had the discussion, and I'll call and they'll say, oh, no, I fixed that phone tree. Right, now it's down from 8 solutions, now we're down to 4. You know that dial the 1, dial the 2, dial the 3, and then by the time you're on the 4th, you're like, should I pick one? That's insane. In today's world, it's way too competitive, and you're spending way too much money to make that phone ring. Think about the money you're spending right now to get that phone to ring. And think about how many people do not need to call you anymore. They want to text you. They want to email you. They want to chat box you. They don't want to talk to you. Can you imagine what a great hot prospect this is? And I don't care how many of you say this to me. Oh, they were just price shopping. Stop that. No, they weren't. They're literally looking for a solution to a problem. You just didn't handle them correctly 90% of the time. And I'm not trying to be argumentative, but okay, so answer the phone. That means no answering machines, no closing at lunchtime, no phone trees. You guys, would you just help us? We're going to just do a quick survey. If I were to call your office today, would I get, because the goal is human being within the 3rd ring. How many can raise their hand and say I would get that? Human being 3rd ring. Okay, now look what happened. Only about 25% of you can say that. Already, that's the competitive edge. Do you get it? It's that little thing of actually answering the phone that you're halfway there. But then there's more to it. Okay, so no more of that. No more closing at lunchtime. I don't know who you all think you are closing at lunchtime, but that doesn't make any sense in this industry. Who is your target market? People who have money. Who has money? People who work. People who work, when do they have time off? At lunchtime. You can kid yourself and say, oh, no, we tested that. They never call at lunchtime. That's not true. I've been doing this forever. They call at lunchtime. So here's your new motto. Are there any receptionists in the room? I know you are, but anybody else a receptionist? And that's the funny part. We're talking to the wrong group here, but the phone is your friend. In most practices, the phone is a hindrance, a nuisance. I don't want to grab that. I'm not touching that phone. It's not my job. And that's not a good. So the phone is your friend. If you have to put mirrors up, and you know they do this in Vegas, why are there mirrors everywhere? Because we act better when we're being watched by ourselves and other people. It just is true. So if you have to put mirrors up and watch somebody's facial expression and have the receptionist look at herself answer the phone, do it. Whatever you need to do to get him or her some energy for answering the phone, got to do it. So we need a good attitude here. We don't need that sourpuss. We need a really good attitude. Okay, so here's the greeting. Do you hear how I'm using my voice a lot? Some of you have decided to put anybody out there in the phones, and they are not meant to be. Some people are not meant to be phone people. They're just not. I happen to be good at voice. Some people are good at dancing. I couldn't dance if somebody paid me to dance. So we all have our talents, and some people should not be on the phones. Now, some of you have a really funny greeting. You try. You think you're going to be 5-star, and you'll have this really great greeting like, oh, thank you for calling. It's a great day to look great. But you have a receptionist that says, for the 50th time of the day, thank you for calling. It's a great day to look great. If you're going to up your game with the words, you better bring it with the voice and the attitude, okay? Or don't. Don't get fancy yet. Just answer the phone correctly. So here's a simple way, but watch me use my voice. Good afternoon, Best Plastic Surgery and Laser Center. Linda speaking. How may I assist you today? And do you hear how I'm bringing it? We've all done it. We've all called somebody. We have no idea who we're calling. We're out of our comfort zone. If you've ever had to call a lawyer, a dentist, I had an implant. That was crazy. How much money was that? And you don't know what you're looking for. So all you have right now is voice and what the words are, right? So if you can't get the words straight, at least get the voice right. So here's the next one. You just want to get their name and number. Sure, I can help you with that. Here's a verbal cheerleading. Sure, I can help you with that. May I get your name, please? Okay. Do you hear me ending on a question mark? I'm not going to say another word until you give me your name, you know? And then, thank you for that, Karen. And what's the best number to reach you at? Question mark, and pause. Okay? Now you want to get the referral source. Thank you for that. And can you please tell me, how did you hear about us, Karen? Do you hear how I'm always leaving it at a question mark and pausing? Trust me, you're controlling the call, and the caller will automatically go with you on this. I promise you. And then when they answer, terrific, or thanks so much for that information. Okay? The next one. So Karen, which procedure did you want to discuss with Dr. Bess? You need to know, obviously, what they're looking for. This is the one time where they are allowed to talk more. If you're hearing me, I'm not letting them talk yet much. I'm letting them answer my questions because I'm controlling it for right now. So what did you want to talk about? Okay, great. And now some more verbal cheerleading, but now we need to understand where they're at in the process. Yes, that's one of our most popular procedures. By the way, Dr. Bess has performed more than 2,500 surgical procedures with fantastic results. When were you thinking of having this done? Question mark, pause. Thank you for that information. Okay, now are you seeing that I'm bragging about the surgeon very subtly, but isn't that good to know? If you're the patient, the caller, wanting something done, you don't want to be number 3. You want to be number 2,503, right? So if you can say that, get it in there. Okay? Now the old, how much is it? I know that's all you say. Okay, that's all they did. They just call about price. That's all they want to do. Okay, let's say that's true. Let's say they're just calling about price. Although God knows on the internet, you can't get a straight price anyway. It's all over the place. But let's say they are calling about price. Have some strategy then to answer that. Here's the big tip. Always, always, always pre-frame before price. The reason people get sticker shock is you never gave them any value before you threw out a number. And if you notice, nobody hears another word you're saying after you throw out the number. So first give them the pre-frame, then the price, and then it's going to be a sandwich. Pre-frame, price, and then a buffer. And I'll show you what that means. We've got to position the physician on the phone. That's your new motto, position the physician. But all of you as a team have to get together and figure out what that is. You can't be what everybody else is, or you won't be able to compete. No, if everyone thinks we're all this, if everyone can do everything, then what's the point? Then we might as well all be a race to the bottom for price, and it's not that. It has to be more than price. You can't be in business if it's just price. So you're going to be more strategic. Get together in a team and figure it out. How many surgeries have you done? If it's a big number, use it. If it's a little number, move on to the next one. How many patients have you treated? Let's say you don't do surgery, you're just doing injectables, but you do a ton of them. So if you're able to say, we've treated more than 2,000 patients, use that. It's good proof. You train others. You're seen in some kind of PR. By the way, in today's world, I know we talk about PR here, just FYI. You can pay to play on that one. You can, I fly constantly, and all the doctors, the hot shots are in the magazines in the airline. Have you seen them? Do you know what they're paying for that? It's like 50 grand. But it's a magazine ad, and the title is Best Plastic Surgeons in America. Just FYI, they paid for it. Just saying. So you can do the same. You can be as seen in wherever you advertise, wherever you have a little article, a little blurb. Okay, or you speak, you lecture, you write. While you're at this meeting, talk about an opportunity. I hope you're taking pictures constantly of your doctor on the podium, your doctor out at the logo. Like I know I am. This is a huge PR opportunity for you. It shows that you go to meetings and you are bettering your best. Also, you're voted top doc, another pay to play, but who cares? And then donates time to pro bono. Our industry is basically female. It's still 85% female. Women love pro bono, especially if you're helping kids and dogs. All the better. Okay, now here's another tip. When somebody asks you a question, you answer a question with a question. So that's another mantra. Answer a question with a question and no pause. No, I don't want you to pause. I wanted to pause. No, I don't want you to pause. And so when they ask you a question, you answer it, and here's your trail. And I see my next available appointment is on June 14th at 3 p.m. Does that work for you? Question mark, pause. So do you see how you're answering their question, and before they get to ask you 14 more questions, you stop them, and you go straight to, does June 14th work? Okay, how much is it? We're back to that. So I'm going to throw all this together into one. Oh, sure, Karen, I can help you with that. By the way, Dr. Bess has performed more than 1,500 surgical procedures, and he trains others on his innovative techniques, so you call the right practice. Now, the fees for that procedure start at $6,500 or range. Pick one. You start or range, but you have to give people numbers in today's world. You can't say we don't give numbers over the phone. You're not going to get anywhere with that. They're going to hang up. You have to pick something, seriously. So it ranges, and here is the buffer, and we offer affordable pay plans. So that's the sandwich. This is how great we are. This is the price, and we offer affordable pay plans. I use that very specifically, affordable pay plans. Do not use finance. We don't like that word. There are scary words in sales. Finance and contracts are big. They're big. So no, it's affordable pay plans. Okay? And keep going. And I see my next available appointments at October 14th at 3 p.m. Does that work for you? And pause. Trust me on this. If you would practice these, your conversion rates will go up by 30% within 2 days because you have a whole different feel for it, the phone. Okay, if you do charge a consult fee, which quite frankly in today's world I think you need to, it's gotten so crazy out there, but if you do, you got to tell them. So I would do it towards the end. One more thing, Karen, because Dr. Bess is in high demand, we do charge a $100 consult fee that I take over the phone now to reserve your time with him, and it go towards your procedure should you decide to move forward. We take Visa, MasterCard, or Amex. Pause, because now they go get their credit card. Okay? They really do. Trust me on this, I've done it forever. Okay, now here, this is important. Are you the information booth or are you the control tower? You're the control tower. You're no longer the information booth. You people are getting yourselves digging in holes really deep and you can't get out because you're letting the caller tell you how much is it, what's the downtime, where are the incisions, and it goes on and on and on. You can't get into that. It's not your job. Your job is what? To book the appointment for a consult or to get their contact information. So here's the rules. If it's an easy question to answer, sure, answer it. And so does October 14th at 3 p.m. work for you? Just go right back to that again, that date. If it's clinical, this is your go-to. No matter what, your go-to is, that's a great question for Dr. Bess to answer personally at your consultation. So does October 14th at 3 p.m. work for you? Do you see how it sounds a little repetitive? But that's the point. You don't need to be fancy on the phones. Get the scripts down, stick to it, practice, and now you're not winging it. You already know what you're going to say. Now you're thinking more of your voice and your personality and your attitude and what you're bringing to the call. And then get the contact information if nothing else. Okay, Sarah or Karen, whatever your name is. It seems you're not quite ready to book a consultation just yet, but I'd be happy to add you to our VIP list to receive exclusive web offers. I just need your email. Pause. Do you hear what I'm saying there? You get to be on the VIP list. You have to say VIP list because nobody wants to give you their email because you're going to spam them. So if you say it like this, you always give somebody a reason for action that you want them to take. Okay, that's the point. Or if you don't like that one, go with Karen. I've got an idea. Hear how excited I am? We have a fun patient event coming up. It's a fun event where we serve food and wine, live in Illinois, and we give giveaways. Dr. Bess will talk about the latest surgical and non-surgical procedures available today. And if you're interested, I can email or text an invitation for you and a friend. Question mark, pause. And what you've done here is given them a choice. Do you see how they can't get away without giving you contact information? They're either going to have to give you their email or their cell phone. So you gave them a choice. And you also let them bring a friend. Nobody wants to go show up somewhere alone where they don't know anybody. It's so awkward. So let them bring a friend. And now you have 2 new prospective patients, right? And that's it. If you want more of this, this is what I do all day long. But it's called Convert Phone Calls if you're interested. And if you want to hang around with me on Instagram, I'm at Catherine Maley, MBA. You'll see me on Instagram where I already took my photo and I said, oh, I'm giving talks. So do the same while you're here. Okay? And that's it. Thanks so much.
We hope you found valuable insight on this episode of Beauty and the Biz. For more episodes, tools, and Catherine's free book, visit www.catherinemaley.com. That's www.catherinemaley.com. And be sure to subscribe to get the latest practice building strategies delivered to you. And don't forget to share this Beauty and the Biz podcast with your staff and colleagues.